Hey everyone, Kevin here. Multiple updates for you today on the next round of stimulus, including updates from Donald Trump, a meeting that he just had, fresh insights hot off the press. Well, I actually watched the meeting, so I guess it's hot off what I wrote down. And I also want to review some bills that were submitted by Republicans in the Senate last week. This will give us an idea of what is on the minds of Republicans. But first, because we are all clamoring around that $2,000 per month bill, the Emergency Money for the People Act, authored by Tim Ryan and co-sponsored by Ro Khanna in the House of Representatives, both Democrats, I could not help myself but start by using Tim Ryan's Twitter feed as an example of the divisiveness of our nation, and I think it just goes to show. Well, let me put it this way. The easiest way for me to explain this is just to play it, because it's must-see. Okay, he loses it. He loses his mind, which is not necessarily good for the stimulus package, I suppose, and incorporating his bill, but let's just watch at least part of it. Okay, here we go. Let's put me right here. Okay.
I've got to tell you, this is absolutely unbelievable. Just a few years ago, the stock market's at 25,000. Corporate profits are the highest they've been in decades. The rich keep getting richer. And our friends on the other side said, what do we do now? Let's do a tax cut where 83% of it goes to the top 1% of the wealthiest people.
Just so you know, and we're getting to the part where he really loses it. This is just the start of it. He's talking about this additional tax deduction that was included for how companies and real estate corporations can write off expenses on certain commercial real estate and carry over more losses. It's complicated. Don't really worry about that. But here we go. This is the fun part.
Fast forward a few months. Global pandemic. 36 million people unemployed. 40% of families who have a worker that makes $40,000 a year and less lose their job last month. 4 million people didn't pay their rent, and the Republican Party says, we don't have any money to help you. Are you kidding me? Where do you guys live?
All right. I'm going to stop it there. I don't ever want to come across, I don't want to come across as taking any sides here, right? I just think, I don't know if shouting in Congress is going to help get that bill passed, especially since it looks like nobody else is there. But that's just being cynical. Like nobody's there because they're doing a lot of this virtually. But yeah, ouch. Okay, so that's what's happening apparently in the House of Representatives. That's Tim Ryan, the person who introduced the bill for the $2,000 per month of stimulus. Now, I can't help but also show this. This is only 14 seconds long, and it's kind of also worth watching. This is also from his Twitter feed. And then we'll get to what the Republicans submitted into Congress, I promise, okay? Okay, let's put me right here. I probably shouldn't play too much of this with audio on because I'll get demonetized.
Okay, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house.
Okay, I think you get the point. It kind of keeps going on. But I guess this is the stuff that's happening in Congress. So I wanted to see, since there are a lot of us who want to know that Congress is actually working for us right now, I wanted to see, what's going on in the Senate and what kind of bills are being submitted in the Senate. So I wrote down some of the titles of bills that were being submitted in the Senate. Lindsey Graham has introduced a bill to sanction China. Ted Cruz has introduced a bill to recruit qualified foreign nationals residing in the U.S. to provide health care during the public health care emergency. Okay. Senator Martha McSally wants PPE to be included in the PPP loan. Okay, a lot of P's there. Okay. Senator Bill Cassidy wants sanctions against Saudi Arabia for oil imports and wants to withdraw troops from the country. These are all Republican bills that were submitted last week. And I'm specifically looking at Republican bills because I want to see, they're in control of the Senate. And the HEROES Act is on their table. We've got, apparently everybody in the House is bored. They're doing TikTok videos and they're freaking out in basically an empty chamber. So we're on the Republican side in the Senate to see, okay, what's on their mind. And so far we got sanctions against China, some minor little tweaks here. Sanctions against Saudi Arabia. Here's one, Marco Rubio. He's the senator authoring, or he's the senator that is on the committee for small businesses, and he talks a lot about the PPP and the SBA, and he works a lot with businesses on that. And so he introduced the Slither Act. The Slither Act may be cited as suppressing looming invasive threats harming Everglades Restoration Act. I feel like I'm playing Boulder Dash, and like some of these bills are not making me feel confident that right now there really on both sides is a lot of interest in focusing on help for the people, and that is stimulus funding, because I don't think screaming or TikTok videos are going to get us there. So I'm equally slamming both sides here, okay? Don't think I'm picking a side here. Then there are some other bills for things like work-study grants, housing rental assistance grants. Democrats like Kamala Harris have introduced bills into the Senate for additional $2,000 per month checks, but that's on the Democrat side. They're not in control of the Senate, so there's no sense in really talking about that. So that's what's going on in Congress right now. I have to say I'm disappointed. This is not what I wanted to report to you in terms of what's going on in Congress. Now, let's talk about what Donald Trump is saying, because this morning, Kevin Hassett pissed off a lot of us. A lot of frustration today, sorry. But Donald Trump this morning was at a round table, at a square table, actually. I put a little thing on Instagram about him sitting at a square table instead of round. I don't know why I thought that was funny. It was on my Instagram story. Anyway, sorry. Donald Trump suggested that some of the things that he's looking into are, and he talked to restaurateurs about this, restaurant owners, a 24-week extension to the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program. So if you have not, or instead of 8 weeks, you would have 24 weeks. So an extension that would make it 24 total weeks to spend your Paycheck Protection Program money. This is just an idea right now. Obviously, that would have to be passed by Congress, but that's an idea that Donald Trump floated at the meeting today. He also reiterated his interest in more payroll tax deductions, and possibly actually the deductibility of the PPP loan. So this is actually really fascinating, because if you are a small business owner, you really ought to consider applying for the PPP, because if any of those three things happen, or if all of those three things happen, that PPP is looking good. Just in case you don't know what that means with the deductibility, here's the thing. When you spend $100 as a business, you could write that off against $100 of income. So it's kind of like you spend $100 on expenses, you write that off against $100 of income, which basically means you pay no taxes, right? Well, with the PPP, you're actually getting $100 as a gift to write off $100 of expenses. So they're saying that you're not able to write off that $100 because they're not taxing you on the money you're receiving. Like it's offsetting the same thing. And Donald Trump talking about the deductibility would basically give you an additional tax benefit on top of that. It's almost like you're double writing it off, like you're getting free money and you get to write off the expense. Whew, that would make the PPP real juicy for businesses to get. I denied my PPP loan, but I think, in all fairness, morality-wise, a lot of y'all are supporting the course and the programs that I have, and your e-learning during this time to learn about the psychology of money and real estate. So I can't reasonably attest that my business has been negatively affected. So I denied the PPP loan. But if you're thinking about getting the PPP loan, those are good indications from Donald Trump. And of course, payroll tax deductions. The complicated thing there is, how do payroll tax deductions easily translate to more money in our pockets, right? As individuals who are in need of more stimulus, in need of, not even stimulus, like in need of relief, right? Another stimulus check is what we're looking for. And unfortunately, no mention at all by Donald Trump about stimulus checks, which is very frustrating, because Donald Trump's talking to restaurateurs, and get this is actually interesting. Donald Trump's talking to restaurateurs about, hey, we really got to get you all back to 100% capacity. And instead of talking about, well, let's get more stimulus to the people so they actually have money to spend at your restaurants. I mean, for right now, it's like rice and bean diet for a lot of us. Heck, some of us watching this, we might have to actually be standing in line at food banks. And there's nothing to be embarrassed about that. It just goes to show that we need help. This is why we run the fundraiser on the channel here, to donate to the No Hungry Children's fundraiser. so that food banks can be supplied for children and people don't go hungry during this time. This is ridiculous, so we have to do this. And instead, they're talking about more tax benefits for businesses. I get it. It's a very Republican ideal. Again, I'm not taking sides. I get pissed off by things on both sides. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. But the thing that Donald Trump mentioned is instead of relief in the form of stimulus checks to individuals, he suggested, well, what if we give every people like basically a tax credit for going to restaurants? Like, come on, man. We don't need a tax credit. We need cash. We need cash. Like, close. It's a good idea, though. I will give it to him. It is a good idea. It's not direct payments to us, but I mean, hey, look, if we as individuals got, a $500, just as an example, I'm making this number up. If we got a $500 tax credit that said, hey, if you go spend money at restaurants, you'll get $500 as a tax credit. That's kind of like $500 in free money next time you go file your taxes. I'd go use that money. I mean, that's like a $500 gift card that you would get, after the fact, next time you go file your taxes. Those are just ideas, but they're interesting because it goes to show what's on Donald Trump's mind. And in case any of this gives you anxiety, make sure to get your life insurance. You can sign up for life insurance within 3 to 5 minutes on your phone. Again, many of you have been emailing me saying thank you for finally lifting this burden of picking a life insurance plan off my shoulders and just saying, just sign up for this. Sign up for this and then shop, right? Sign up for this life insurance plan. Get 2 free stocks with Webull. Deposit $100 with the stock trading platform Webull. Get 2 free stocks. Join me in the programs down below. Use that coupon code. Get your bundle code. Folks, I will be live again tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the private group. I cannot wait to see you there. Thank you so much for watching and your support. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.